My name is Alex Tran with Triumph Boxing, and I want to teach you guys the basics of boxing today. So that's going to include the stance, punches 1 through 6, as well as some concepts that you can carry throughout your career as a boxer. Although I want you to keep in mind that these are just the basic and fundamentals of boxing. And as you develop more as a fighter, you'll develop your own style, and that's what you see in other fighters as well. So these are just the basic core default punches, if you will. So let's start off with the stance. If you're right-handed, your right leg is going to be back, and your left leg is going to be leading. And with your hands, your right hand is going to be protecting your chin right here, and your left hand is going to be laying right under your eye. And I've heard the comparison that it's like you're holding a javelin. The reason we do this is because we want to protect this area of your chin. So it's called the button. And if somebody is able to hit it, you could get knocked out, and that's why we protect it. And then as for your feet, we want to stand in a bladed stance, and your feet are about shoulder width apart. And then there's a little, I say like there should be a little space under your heel, enough to, as if you're standing on a golf ball. So the reason we stand like this is that we're a smaller target, right? If we're bladed, we're a smaller target than if we're square, right? And also, we're more imbalanced if we get punched. If I get punched here, I can rely on this back leg to support me. But if I get punched as I'm squared, I could end up falling, right? So also, in this stance, we're able to be more dynamic in our movement, right? So if I'm moving like this, that athletic stance allows us to be more dynamic in our movement. And if you're a southpaw, which you're left-handed, it's just the opposite. Your right hand is lead, so you're gonna stand like this. Let's get into concept 1. This is something I tell to everybody that I teach. The concept is that all your punches start from the ground up. And we'll be able to see this through all of our punches, but I just want you to keep that in mind because it's something that helped me develop power and efficiency as a fighter. So as we get into punches, you should know that this is our numbering system at Triumph, and that might differ from other gyms. So let's get into the jab. So the jab is going to be one of your most useful punches in that you're going to use it the most, and you're going to be able to find your range there and also like fend off your opponent as well as many other things. So with the jab, if we're here in our stance, the jab is going to generate from this back right foot into our left hand, right, into our lead hand. So that's going to look like this, right? So bearing in mind concept 1, starting your punch from the feet, this is how we do it, right? We're starting it from stepping off of this back leg and then transferring that power from your foot to your hip, to your shoulder, into your arm, right? So we're here in our stance, step, right? And even something that will help you with that is doing it without the punch. So even without the punch, I'll just step, right? So I reset here, and I can just step, right? So without the punch. But once I add the punch, that's when it comes together, right? So we'll step, step, and we'll have it from this angle so you guys can see it as well. So notice how it starts from this back foot into my hand. So I'm here, step, step, step. So the second punch is going to be your 2. So it's also going to start from this back right leg, but it's going to be more of a pivoting motion. So without the punch, it's going to look like this. You're turning on your foot, and your hip is coming out. So it's here. right? And then once I add the right hand, it's here. That's gonna add a lot more power than just here, right? And you can even see it from this to this, right? So we're gonna do the line drill. It would just be here. One with the punch and one without the punch. With, without. With, without. And getting into the three, it's going to be pivoting on this front, your lead leg, which for orthodox is your left leg. And a common mistake that people make with the three is that they'll drop it and then they'll bring it over. So you don't want to do that because you're leaving yourself open to get caught, and also you're telegraphing, right? So if I see somebody go like this, I know they're going to throw the 3 or 5, so I can like easily evade that. So to make it more sneaky and more efficient, we just keep it here. And it's kind of awkward to get at first, but you're turning on your left leg, like you're squashing a bug, and turning on your left hip. So this would be opposite to the 2, right? So the 3 without the punch looks like this, right? From the side. Right. And then once you add the punch, just like that. So the concept for the 3 that helped me develop my 3 was thinking of my hand as like this L, turning it over to here. And it's obviously not gonna perfectly just like turn like this, but this is a lot better than this, right? So keeping that concept in mind will help you minimize you like dropping this hand and bringing this 3. So just keeping it here and then here. The next punch is going to be 4. So from your stance, it's going to be your right uppercut. And the foot movement is going to look similar to the 2. But instead of it being just here as a 2, you're going to have a little bit of a dip. So I like to dip a little bit and then bring it up, right? And this hand stays by your chin until you release it, right? Because what a common mistake is that people will bring it down and then come up. But the same thing with the 3, you're exposing yourself and you're telegraphing if you do that. So try to glue it to your face, your chin, when you come down, and then up, down, up, down, up, right? So with this foot movement, the foot movement by itself is gonna look like this. And with the punch, right? So the 5 is a left uppercut, and it's similar to the 3. Right? The 3 is this way. It ends similar, right? But the same as the 4, you're gonna get that little bend and come out. Bend, come out. And make sure with this that with both uppercuts, that you're protecting yourself when you punch and you're not telegraphing. So same thing with the 4, that you're protecting your chin, you're still protecting your face here, right? You're here, and then here, here, and then here. So without the punch, it's gonna look like, the foot movement is gonna look like this. But with the punch, it's here, here, here. The last punch is a 6. It's not so common, but I will teach you regardless. So the 6 is going to be your right hook, and this foot movement is almost identical as the 2. So the 2 looks like this. So the 6 is going to be the same foot movement, which is here, right? So 6, you're going to bring it around, just a hook, without the foot movement, with the foot movement. So once you got all those punches down, you can start stringing them together, which means that you're doing combinations. But before we get into combinations, I want to get into concept 2. Concept 2 being that understanding that you're vulnerable when you're throwing a punch, right? So for today's meeting, that means that you have to protect yourself after you throw a punch. So that means that if I'm throwing a 1, it's coming back to protect myself instead of throwing a 1 and then dropping it, right? So if I'm throwing a 1-2, I'm here and I'm here. A common mistake, which is here and then here. I just drop this, not really thinking about bringing the hand back. So you want to think about bringing the hand back because you're thinking offense and defense at the same time. So let's get into combinations, bearing in mind concept 2, protecting yourself, right? So some easy combinations that you guys can, easy and common combinations that you guys can practice at home is the 1, 2, 3, and it's from a side profile. It's gonna look 1 is going forward, 2 is here, 3 is here. Notice how I'm bringing my hand back every time, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, right? So another one is going to be the 2, 3, 2. So that's 2, 3, 2. Right? That's on the line. This one you don't really have to step because it doesn't have the 1. So you can just do it here. So 2, 3, 2. 2, 3, 2. Another one would be the 1, 4, 3. So it's 1, 4, 3, right? So it's step with the 1, dip with the 4, and come with the 3, right? Step, 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 right? So there are a number of different combinations that you can do. A lot trickier ones you can get into as well as you learn more. But a tip to help you with everything today is visualizing, right? So visualizing yourself standing in stance, visualizing yourself punching, right? And that's why we stand in front of a mirror when we shadow box, right? So we can see ourselves and what we're doing and what we're doing wrong, right? So if I look in the mirror and I see that my hands are down, my stance is off, right? Or if I see that when I'm punching, I'm not bringing my hands back, right? So when you look in the mirror, you notice these things, right? And another exercise to help you visualize is closing your eyes while you shadow box. This will help you understand where your hands are, right? Because if you close your eyes, the body still knows and the mind still knows where your hands are, right? Like if I close my eyes and if you close your eyes, you still know that your hands are this far apart. So once you start doing this, you start to understand where your hands are moving, right? You start, and you think of those concepts, you want to bring those back. You want to bring those hands back, right? And move those feet. You're thinking of all these things because you're turning off one of your senses, right? You're turning off your sight so you can focus on visualizing your body, right? So that's it for today, you guys. So this is Triumph Boxing. Come check us out on Facebook, Instagram for updates, and come to classes. We have a website. I'll link it in the description. Yeah, have a good one, you guys.